So welcome to the second installment of the Starting Your Own Business, the live Q&A. This is episode 2 with Sam Acton from Domestic Angels. Sam, good morning.
Morning.
And me, Dave Holland, your business co-pilot over here in sunny France and Luxembourg as well. So for those listening and participating, welcome to the conversation, welcome to the call. And I think, Sam, we had a couple of questions pop up from either previous episodes or in general conversations with your network of Domestic Angels.
Yeah.
Who have we got? I know I think it was Marie and Helen had a couple of very good questions to start us off with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd really like to give just about the whole of this episode over to just those 2 questions, because I think they're really, really valuable. So maybe we'll kick off with Marie's question.
Yeah.
And Marie shared with us that actually she's got extensive experience in the industry, in cleaning and in a variety of settings.
Yeah.
So domestic as well as commercial, school cleaning, the whole raft, and they are very different disciplines. And her question is, she's got this extensive cleaning experience, and it's her dream to have her own business. Could she do this?
Right, interesting.
And I just think that's absolutely superb. And Marie, I love that you've actually asked us that question, because
Agreed.
I think it probably took a bit of courage.
Yes.
You know, when you have been on the tools for what I sense with the amount of experience has been quite some time, to have the courage and actually share the fact that you've got a dream to have your own business is fantastic. So first and foremost, Marie, I think you get a tick in the box just for that.
Yeah, thanks, Marie. Excellent question. Gives us,
yeah.
But I think, I guess, and I think this is something that a lot of people are probably thinking the same way. I think, as you said, that they're on, they have experience on the tools or general experience. Do they qualify? Can they do it to make that leap to business ownership? It's because from the outside looking, it is a very big leap, whereas in reality it doesn't have to be. So it's probably
in reality it doesn't have to be, because we provide so much training. However, you do need to have certain skill sets in place, and that's probably what Marie is very much asking about. Now, with somebody like Marie, I'd be looking to ask her about her family. Because you know what, mums in particular, if they've been running a household as well as working, their organizational skills are awesome. And organizational skills are one of the biggest success factors, criteria that you need to run a decent Domestic Angels business.
Absolutely.
So I'd be asking that question, what are your organizational skills? And quite often people don't realize just how much experience they have in terms of organizing. So one of our franchisees is a tawny owl for a brownie pack. So she is organizing all of the time, as well as having 4 kids. And so you just know how these people can organize and make things work and see how everything sort of joins up. So we'd ask for other questions. It's not just about the cleaning experience, but also with the cleaning experience, I'd be really interested to hear from Marie or other candidates about their customer service experience. Because they would have had absolute coal-face customer service experience, and what it feels like when you get feedback of different sorts, but also how it felt if there was a boss involved and what they liked and didn't like. Because what you like and you don't like will reflect how you are when you take that role as a boss. I would be interested in hearing the answers to those questions, that sort of question.
Well, the business that a franchisee, I assume, will be in. Yes, we're in the domestic cleaning and home help environment, but actually we're in the we're in the customer service business, aren't we? We happen to do it through the medium of cleaning and home help and care. But if you've got a fundamental customer care passion, then you can do it. You can adapt it to this business anyway, I would have thought.
Absolutely. And those are the 2 big disciplines. It's the organization and the customer service. Now, the third big discipline, which Marie or other people may not have had much first-hand experience of, is the marketing. Because unless you do your marketing, you're not going to attract the customers. The whole thing is know, like, trust. And if they don't know you're there, how can they like you? How can they trust you? So you need to be able to do the marketing. Now, we do provide marketing training up front. But again, I would be looking to have a conversation and say, well, how would you raise the profile of your domestic angels business in your area.
Sure.
And it is entirely possible that you would say, well, there's a newsagent down the road. I could put a card in the shop window.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Who are you going to tell about it? So you're going to tell your friends, your family,
Yeah.
and that all starts to sound simple, but then you've actually got to tell them.
Yeah.
So I'd be looking to speak to the candidate and find out that they're going to have the confidence to tell people and say, I'm opening up my own domestic angels business.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you help spread the word and tell people? Would you support me on my social media platforms, on my pages, and share my posts, those kinds of things? Which probably brings me on to another aspect, which is the social media side.
Yeah.
The franchisees do need to be able to do their own social media. Now, we do some guidance, we do a bit of training, but I think it's really important that you know how to create a post. So if you create your own post, to say, for example, you went on a day out with your family to a really special forest,
yeah,
and you took a photograph of them, and you did a little bit of a dit with the photograph, it's not dissimilar.
no, exactly.
Yeah, so the basic techniques there, it's just the content is going to be different.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to do that. But do you know what? Millions of people do that all over the world. So if you're not doing it now, it's entirely possible that you're going to learn it very easily.
Yeah, but kids can do it, can't they? But by definition, youngsters do it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's people with a few grey hairs like me need to learn a few tricks. But again, I guess this is something, looking at the sort of franchise model, if you like, for anybody who's got the skills of doing the job, whether it's cleaning or whatever the technical role is. That jump to business ownership is quite daunting because they don't know they're starting from scratch. But presumably, with what you can offer in terms of the franchise, you're offering the training and support, they're not starting from scratch here, are they? This already pre-built, ready to go.
Yeah, and I think that word that you used, daunting, probably exists for far too many people.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's all about confidence. Yes. And self-belief. Yeah. And I think we mentioned this phrase last week, is don't look back and say you could have done this. Yeah, have right. The chat with me, pick up the phone to me, send me a text, send me an email, let's just have a chat, but please do not look back and say I could have done this, because you're lacking in self-belief just at this point in time. Agreed. Put that to one side. Having a chat with me doesn't set you up for any thing in particular, necessary. It's no commitment, there's no obligation. All it is just taking a step to have a chat. And once you've had that chat, then step back and have a think about how you feel about yourself at that point. But I can understand why people can lack in confidence, and it can come from years ago or something much more recently like COVID.
Yes.
And there's loads of resources as well online that you can access to help overcome such confidence issues.
Yeah. I think I was just described to my speaking with another client over in the UK, and they said it was interesting. I think that this applies to all. I think all of us, me included, is that at some point the fear of regret overtakes the fear of failure. And therefore you go, well, I don't want to have not explored the possibility. And even if you don't go for it, whatever, that's okay. But to not even have the conversation. And I think that's a lesson I've learned. I'm sure you've learned as well in your business career, that just have a go, have the conversation, reach out. That's where the magic happens sometimes.
It's exactly why I'm sat here, isn't it?
Absolutely, exactly.
It's exactly why I'm sat here, because I could quite happily just sit back and enjoy my business the size it is at the moment. Honestly, I really, really could.
Yeah.
However, I have the ability and the tools and resources to help more people to set up and run their own domestic angels business, to give them the control and the satisfaction and build that confidence. I have the ability to do that. How dare I look back in 5 years' time and say I didn't make an effort to reach out to those people and make it happen?
There you go. Exactly right. But again, I think, and maybe the people listening, watching this conversation, and again, I think we know this to be true in entrepreneur world, franchise world as well, that there are so many people that, and I see them all the time, where they will say, I want to run my own business, or I want to do something myself, or do a startup. I go, great, but I'm not ready yet because it's too early. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too tall, too thin, too fat, whatever it is. There's always some excuses. And of course, those excuses never get resolved. And the people who do break through are the ones, I'm going to just pick up the phone, have a conversation and see what happens. And that's where the magic can work.
Absolutely. Now, what's that Dr. Seuss?
The Places You'll Go, the book. Yes.
Yes.
It says in the waiting room, I think. Is the waiting room, I think, on the central page to people. There's a poem there, isn't there? They're waiting for this and they're waiting for that, but they're always sat in the waiting room of life.
Yes, I'll wait until I'm older, I'll wait until I'm younger, I'll wait until, okay, I'm going to find that. I've got it somewhere and share it with everyone, because it is so true.
Perfect.
That we do sort of say, well, I won't do it because, and they're not real.
No, it's not real.
All.
And I think as well, people looking to get into business, and I think one of the fears that people may have is they hear these stats about people starting their own business and it failing and falling over. And again, just in my experience, that business do fail sometimes, but it's not because they're not good at what they do, maybe technically, it's because they don't know what they're doing structurally with systems and support and care and marketing and sales, all the things that go with it.
Yeah.
And that's why, because I've been a franchisee as well in my career, is when you look at it, all the things we're scared of, if you like, well, the franchise looks after that to a degree in terms of it's been proven and systems and structure are there. So if there's a fear around making that leap into business ownership, well, the franchise offering can be a nice way of, like an insurance policy, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the processes that might be really scary to somebody is to do with the numbers in the background, the bookkeeping, the accountants. And what we've done is we've taken the really scary part away from the franchisees. So we've built a system up where we do the bookkeeping for you.
Right, okay.
Okay, so we've got this smart diary called Halo, and the franchisees book their work within Halo. And we'll show you how to do it. It's really, really simple because we designed it. It's got big blobby pictures, nothing technical going on. Excellent. And Halo talks directly to our accountancy software at head office. Right. So when you make a booking for Mrs. Smith at 2:00 on Tuesday, the 24th of August, it goes straight through to our accountancy software that creates the invoice. We push the invoice out to the customer pays into our centralized bank account, and then at the end of each month we disperse out what wages you need to give to your staff, pay to your staff, and then a few days later we disperse your profit to you, less your overheads, because obviously with that bookkeeping service it needs to be paid for somehow. So there's a bit of money comes out for that, a bit of money for the software, and but it's done right up front, so you haven't got to do lots of backwards and forwardsing.
Got it. That makes sense. But again, this is one of the things I assume, as you said, that people get nervous about, which is the accounts, the numbers, the cash flow, and all that sort of thing. Whereas what you're sort of saying, you sort of not take that away, but you sort that out on their behalf and feed through to them, so it's all done as a package for them.
It's massively efficient to operate in that way for a number of reasons. But first and foremost, it is because somebody comes in to run a Domestic Angels business, not so that they can become a super qualified bookkeeper. They come into it so that they can deliver great customer service and take care of their staff. So we've taken that bit away. I know an awful lot of franchises don't do that, but we did, because I don't see why, for example, Marie should find the courage to step up and have her own business and then have to take endless qualifications or become an expert in something that, which might be a complete mystery to her. So we've taken that big job, which needs to be accurate, away. It also means that at the end of each of their financial years, the information they've got actually fits directly into their self-employment tax return. So you don't have to pay extra for that. Right, it's a no-brainer. It is made to be simple, made to be efficient and effective.
So, and the point that Marie made as well, I think it was really interesting. She has lots of experience in this sector in different areas. Is that a good thing? Or I assume there's sort of an up and a down to it. The experience that she has is absolutely valid in terms of customer service. Might there be a case where they have to unlearn some things, or can these skills be brought into the Domestic Angels system as well?
I think it absolutely can be brought in, actually, and Domestic Angels is really structured well for that, because each house is different. We don't provide the cleaning materials into a home. We take them along for spring cleans and take them along for holiday homes, but generally not into the private homes, because some people like bleach, some people don't. Some, there's variations. So we don't have cloth systems or anything like that to learn and replicate. It's about knowing how to look after and run a household. And I would guess that Marie has probably got extensive experience that will be completely appropriate. It also means that she would probably be able to coach her staff very effectively, because she's talking about things in detail.
From point of experience. I know Lynn was asked how many children she had, and she said 3. So you've got Jonathan, Richard, and me to look after. So I think around, running a household, have that broad experience, it absolutely fits well. So for Marie, I hope you're watching and listening to this, but maybe for other people as well who are thinking the same sort of way, what would your advice be? What should they be doing to find out if this is the right thing for them?
Well, definitely do your research, and research can be done in various ways. So you can, obviously, website, social media are free to access and easy to read. Call and chat with me, that's absolutely fine. We've got a range of franchisees who would be very, very happy to take calls and have a chat. You might prefer that to talking to me, might be less daunting. British Franchise Association, good place to look, or EWIF, which is the Encouraging Women into Franchising section. So that would take you more or less direct to Domestic Angels, and just watching this series of programs and sending in your questions.
Absolutely. But I think it's sort of do something, isn't it? Don't avoid it. Don't sort of have this put it on the shelf and wait. It's probably do something, even if you do it and you don't like it when it's not for you. That's fine. But have the conversations and prove it out first. It is sort of don't have regrets. I think that's a shame.
Don't have regrets. Business is huge fun, and it's very, very rewarding, especially when you do work like we do, when you really make a difference in other people's lives. Can I come back to that question about cleaning and the cleaning experience? It's not obligatory to have that cleaning background to take on a Domestic Angels business. The customer service and organizational skills are equally important. And I think, with our current franchisees, they're all like, we love places to be cleaned. We know what good looks like. So there's different skill sets for different people, and what we do with the franchisees, they all know each other, so they can balance things off. So one of them is exceptional at social media, so the others all copy her.
It's got market research.
A bit of market research. So there's a lot of sharing and caring, so that there's a support. It's a family, it's a team. And I think the key thing is if you can see yourself, if you can vision yourself working with us, then that is a major step in the right direction. Absolutely. And if you feel that, if you can see that, you should really be picking up the phone and or sending in your questions and taking the next step.
Perfect. So Marie, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, now's the time, pick up the phone, make contact, anybody else in Marie's situation as well just wants to find a bit more about this. Pick up the phone. Absolutely right. Okay, perfect.
Absolutely. Or send your questions in for next week. That'll be good.
This is like some bizarre chat show now. It's really good. It's great, isn't it? It's good. Anyways, but in a good way. So hopefully for Marie that was helpful. And then the second question from Helen was around a bit more on the number side, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, Helen's question is really interesting. Does this business require an investment up front?
Right. Okay.
Now, I'm really, really keen to deal with this properly on repeat, to be fair. Because lots of franchises, it requires that you pay a lump sum up front and then ongoing royalties, which tend to be a percentage of your turnover or your profit. Okay, so fine. Yes, in lots of ways, Helen, the straightforward answer to your question is yes. But I got a dirty, great big but in there and a however. The but is for the right candidates. So if somebody came to me and was an absolute strong candidate, then we're going to organize payment arrangements.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there will be a bit of investment right up front, but then we can make an arrangement for the rest of it, because I would rather have the right people on board than have an investment, all the investment up front. Okay. So we can have investment ongoing, but there needs to be something, because I need to know you are taking as much risk as me.
Yes. Yeah, there's been sort of level of commitment to make this joint. It's like a partnership, isn't it? Basically, this sort of thing.
Yeah. And when you put that investment up front, it's not that you're just giving me some money. In return, you're getting my time, you're getting our team's time, you're getting all the training, which customer service, recruitment, managing your angels, running the software. You're getting a 90-day launch program where your hand is literally going to be held all the way through. If you pay a substantial amount of the investment, then a big portion, a good portion of it comes back marketing to launch your territory, because you need to get known as fast as possible. So it actually gives you an awful lot, but also you're buying into having that defined business structure. So you know what you're getting. Whereas if you started your own business from a blank piece of paper, you'd probably use the same amount of money, if not more, to invest, but have no idea if any of it's going to work.
Absolutely right.
So that's
bigger,
really
bigger
cool.
risk, certainly, by the sound of it.
Okay. So the however is that with a domestic angels business, if you run it the way we say you should, or you follow the procedures and you build your business up, when you come to the end of your term, and the terms are done in 5 years, you have the option to renew, but you also have the option to sell your business.
Right. Okay.
At which point you get all of your investment back, because it will be worth more than what you bought it for.
Right.
Because you'll buy a blank territory.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
So say you buy a blank territory and you put the investment of the full 16 grand in up front. Once you've built that business and it's making a profit, it's worth more than that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a going concern, isn't it, then, by definition? So
that means that the whole time that you've got it for the 5 years, you are earning the profit all the way through. And bearing in mind, our franchisees take home between £2,500 and £3,000 a month after overheads. That's what they're earning, and their territories are going to be worth in excess of the 16 grand they invested up front when they come to sell it, if they decide to sell it. So I hear what you're saying, Helen, but don't forget, you get the money back as well.
But also, I think, just observation wise, you get the money back should you choose to sell it at the end of the term, but you can renew if you want to. But also you're making significant profit, income, whatever term you use for it, during the period of time you're running the franchise anyway. And presumably, and I don't know this, I'm not quoting figures here, but somebody who wants to start a cleaning business, they're not going to do they're not going to have the systems and support and everything in place that you've got. So it's going to be maybe not upfront investment, but in terms of reduced income and revenue and profitability over the initial stages, it's going to cost you there somewhere anyway, I would have thought.
It's going to cost them a lot along the way, and they'll probably be stuck on the tools the entire time, which means they won't have the capacity to grow the business. Whereas whilst our franchisees from time to time go on the tools, and some of them are more likely to than the others, the idea is that you're working on your business, not in your business. So sometimes you might go out and work with one of your staff as a way of just sort of nurturing them along and touching base, a bit of a one-to-one, really, a management technique. The idea is that you're not meant to go out. You're meant to be running the business.
So this, you mentioned that they're earning or taking $2,500-3,000 a month for the business, which is great. But presumably, then, this is not just for clarity for everybody listening. This doesn't mean they're working 50 hours a week out on the tools. They could be reasonably flexible. They're doing their marketing, their recruitment, their support, their customer service, but this could be reasonably flexible for them, I take it then, really.
They're going to be working somewhere between 20 and 30 hours a week
Right.
to
Okay.
do this.
Okay. Yeah.
The clever ones will be on 20.
Yes. Okay.
The majority of the time.
Yeah.
And there'll be weeks, and that's probably an average, to be honest. It's probably less some weeks. It's if you're super organized and you're really strong at communications and customer service, the less hours you'll work.
So really, this will return. I'm just thinking of return on investment. It's a very interesting question, but if you've got the good lifestyle and ability to, I would assume, to see the kids, whatever, have that flexibility. There's a huge value there as well that you don't get with traditional startups. It tends to be all hands to the pump and everything like that. So there's the ROI is there ongoing as well. But interesting, you get the key. You make money during the period, and you get it back at the end as well.
And do the school run.
And do the school run as well. So yes.
Oh, completely. Yeah. I know one of our franchisees is on holiday at the moment.
Yeah.
She's handed the reins over to one of her lead staff.
Right. Okay.
With a backup that we at head office know that she's not around, that she's having a proper break.
Sure.
But she's still earning.
But there's a model of that sort of leveraged approach to income. You sort of get it when you're not sat in there. You can sit on your laptop and be anywhere in the world, pretty much, I assume, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're earning time.
Yes. Yeah.
You are earning time. It's not just about the money. So I'm sure the upfront investment element that Helen has raised is a barrier for an awful lot of people. It probably feels really scary.
Yeah.
Really, really scary. So one of the things that we can do to take that fear away is that we ask candidates to go through a little bit of a process with our accountant, where they add into a spreadsheet that we've created. Yeah, it's got formulas in the background so that you can see what your profit will be to take home.
Okay. Yeah.
And we ask them to put in there the repayment for their loan if they take out loans. It's very, very normal for people to take out loans.
Absolutely,
Invest in a business like this. A business loan or a personal loan, money at the moment is cheap.
Yes.
You're into that kind of thing. Yeah, and I'm not necessarily encouraging anybody to take out.
No, that's the official answer. But money is the interest rates are low, so it's
But it's out there as an option. Put it in there what the repayment is as part of the model, so then you know how many hours a month you need to get on the books in order to cover your overheads, including your loan repayment.
Sure.
And therefore how much you will take home. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose being sort of blunt about it as well to a degree is that somebody's looking at this saying, right, I want to start my own business. I've got two choices. I can either do it myself and hope for the best, or I can buy a franchise. The difference is I've got to put some money up front into the franchise to buy a ticket to ride. And the question in their mind's got to be, am I better off doing that in terms of success, results, profit, longevity, and ability to sell it at the end, or do I do it myself and hope for the best? And it's just that sort of judgment call, isn't it, which comes back to I guess conversation with you again now.
Yeah, it is that judgment call, but it's also a reflection of confidence. So it's coming back to Marie's point again. It's about confidence in your relationship with money. If you're not confident and you don't happen to have that money readily available and that you would have to borrow it from whatever, or convince me that you're a fantastic candidate and to deserve one of our bursaries. Yes. If your relationship with money isn't that great, then that conversation is actually really difficult. The idea of having that conversation at all is really tricky. You go, oh, I'll do it on my own. But I understand why you would feel that way. And doesn't matter how many times I say to you, you will still end up spending as much that way. In fact, more than if you do it with me. It doesn't overcome the fact that that person has a particular relationship with money or confidence about what's going to happen, and I respect that.
Yeah, of course. No, again, it's one of those things. But this sort of relationship with money shows up in business life, in personal life, and everywhere as well. It's one of those things. But both. So for both, well, for Marie and for Helen, or people in Marie and Helen's situation, the solution is the same by the sound of it. Is to do some research, but at some point pick up the phone. It sounds like you have some potential solutions there, or ideas that could help people through all these sort of areas. It's to, if in doubt, pick up the phone and speak with you or one of the team, perhaps.
Yeah, pick up the phone, send in more questions.
Yeah.
You know, we're happy to take questions every single week. It gives us
Yeah.
really interesting points to talk about that other people will really want to hear about. They just haven't had your confidence to send the questions in the first place. So please send them in, or pick up the phone, send in an email. I don't mind. Ask the questions. Don't have the regrets.
Exactly. Don't have the regret. I think that's all part of it. So I think for anybody, if in doubt, pick up the phone, email, get in touch. And also, as you say, because we're going to be having these conversations, and it's really interesting, to see the questions coming in, because this is what people are really thinking about. So thank you to Marie and Helen, but also I guarantee there are other people out there thinking the same way. It's just encapsulated.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could say to you, look, just give me 16 grand, but I'm not. I'm saying, give me your time and ask the questions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
because in that way I can help you.
Fabulous. So fabulous, Sam. Thank you. Great to speak with you as always. Again, cut off some ground there. I look forward to next week. So anybody listening or watching, please let's have your questions. Put them on either below on the video here. You can send them through by email. Look at the Domestic Angels website. Contact Sam. Find a way. You can send to me if you want to. I'm easy to find as well. So we'll put them onto the list for next week as we go along.
That's great. Thank you ever so much.
Have a great week. I'll speak to you real soon, and bye for now.
Bye.